Before we get started with this video, take some time to look at that list real quick. Pause it if you have to. But for right now, I think we should all use a moment of silence for the following. When I first heard about the new ban list and restrictions for the modified rules for the Ultimate Cup, I was freaking off. I'm not going to lie to you. I was enraged. I didn't understand. I was confused. I was like, what is this? Why would you do this? This doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. And then I started to calm down a little bit and really think about what this is going to do for upcoming events and tournaments and for certain decks that don't get play. There are going to be decks that get no more play. It's gone. It's destroyed. There are going to be decks that never got to see the light of day that actually might have a chance in the new format. This is what's going to make this new Digimon tournament so interesting. At first, I didn't really care about this. I didn't want any part of it. I didn't even want to participate in this tournament. But then again, as a Digimon fan and as a card player, you do like a little bit of challenge. And as long as it's not an official Digimon Bandai ban list, and this is like the new official rules of how to play Digimon, I think I'm a lot more fine with that. I'm a lot more fine with them experimenting in an Ultimate Cup rather than in them experimenting officially for the official rules as an entirety. This also gives certain decks that were not the top tier, but top enough in the top 32 to actually go further than just where they placed in, let's say, the Nationals data. I want to make two categories here. The first category would be decks that actually have a good shot, and another list of decks that got hurt but still have potential of going far. First, we'll go over the decks that got hurt that still have a decent chance. First up on that list is actually going to be WarGreymon X Antibody. We're talking about the Red Base. Red WarGreymon is decent for the fact that it has a really good evolution lineup, and it does have some rebounding cards. So a card that would not exist in the new WarGreymon build in Ultimate Cup would be Greymon X Antibody from BT11. That card you would just simply take out, swap for the old BT9 Greymon X Antibody, because you can remove Digimon with the same level to keep it from dying, bottom decking, or remove back to hand, which is very good. So WarGreymon, the only downside is you don't have X Antibody, you don't have Cool Boys, but you can swap that up with upping more of your Red Based Tamers, playing some Red Memory boosts. It just gives you a little bit more open slots, essentially. Yes, you don't get Omnimon, but you do have that really powerful WarGreymon X Antibody. Another deck that got hurt pretty badly was, speaking of WarGreymon, Blackwargreymon. Blackwargreymon is very hurt for the reason that it's now divided and you're now having to make a choice. Do you go red style or do you go black style? I think majority of the people are going to go red style over the black style, just because the Agumon lineup is a lot better. You have better level 4s like the BT5 Greymon. You have the Security +1 Greymon. So those level 4s alone can kind of sway you to go to that side over the black side, because all you really have on the black side is the blocker Greymons, and that is not the strongest thing you can do. Depends what you prefer. I'm sure you could probably make a creative black base build and go far with that, but you do suffer not having the Greymon X Antibody, not being able to use X Antibody option cards, so therefore the Greymon X Antibody on the black base can't really do its thing. Next, really quick, is Garurumon X, blue Melga. Melga is hurt. Melga's got no X Antibodies, no Cool Boys, and it doesn't have the new the BT9 WarGreymon X Antibody, which allows you to unsuspend and return a level 4 back to hand, which was actually really good, because what that would do is remove a little body off the field to therefore go into Garurumon X Antibody, or Metal Garurumon X Antibody, to unsuspend and then block and then bounce back the main body, which was just a really nasty combo when you were able to get that down. Melga can still be fast. It's got a lot of blue pieces still, and I'm sure you can find other ways to supplement those level 5s with another WarGreymon of some sort. So Metalgarurumon is hurt, but it's not completely out. It can still be a little bit aggressive. Another deck I thought was worthy of mentioning was Armor Rush. Armor Rush actually does get hurt in a little bit. It gets hurt a little bit, but I put it in this category because it does get hurt a little bit, and it's still a very good deck even with the hits. Hits being number 1, Chimeramons are now gone. You cannot use the Chimeramons to do the Jogress move, do the minus DP and the DP buff. Another important card that I think is going to hurt, but I think you can find a way to make room or make adjustments, is the Awakening of the Golden Knight. That is a yellow-based card, and from my imagination, if you're playing Armor Rush, you're going to have to go blue base here. And then ultimately, you have your Magnamon X antibodies, but you can only evolve off of the Magnamons from BT8. What's good about Armor Rush is you still have your Davis Kens, and you can unlock the card Megadeth, which Megadeth is a very good card for Armor Rush. Moving on to the next one, speaking of that similar style, is imperialdramon Blue-Green. imperialdramon suffers for the reason that you cannot use Stingmon as a green card, so that's gonna hurt. What you can do as a supplement is go into Lydramon. Being able to get that green source, you're gonna just have to go play a set of Lydramons and probably come up with a little bit of extra kind of creativity there if you wish to go that route, because Pyldramon is pretty much your really strong early boss monster to be able to swing unsuspend, but you lose that draw power with the Stingmon being absent. imperialdramon still has a shot to hang, but it did get that little hurt, but I did want to put it in this category for anybody interested in imperialdramon Blue-Green. imperialdramon Blue-Red, I would see a lot of purple base, and it kind of suffers for the fact that you have the red Vmons and then you had the purple Wormmons, and so now you have to pick and choose, and just being able to be divided like that just kind of hurts the deck overall. It's going to require a lot of thinking to try to recover from that. Next on the list is actually going to be Grandis. Grandis is actually hurt. He's down. He's injured. He is limited to 1 here on the Grandis promo card of the Digiburst effects here. I will say, even though it's hurt, and that is a big hurt because it stops the OTK from happening more often than it was doing, it still has starter deck Grandis. If you don't know starter deck Grandis, it has like 15k, I believe, on its turn, and it also has a natural sec +1. So yeah, with the starter deck Grandis, you're gonna have to play it a little bit differently. This is something that you would have to ask yourself, is it even worth playing Grandis at all at this point? Not being able to Digiburst and keep the sec +1s for the turn, then you would have to make that decision if you just go into a slower route of Grandis, where you just Digivolve off of that, go into Grandis, being able to redirect attacks. The good news is the level 5s are still active, so you can get a little bit of you can have a little bit of fun there, but ultimately Grandis is hurt. It just got hurt. Next on the list is Machinedramon. I think Machinedramon got hurt for the reasons that you can only use, and I would have to argue probably go black base on the Machinedramon here, and just really using cards that have that multicolor with the black being one of those colors. It can still get a lot of those level 5 cards that you're looking for. WarGreymon from BT8 is still very good, but you do lose some of the red level 5s. Or in other categories as well. So Machinedramon's going to be a bit of a work, but I think the good thing about Machinedramon is it's got a lot of pieces to adjust to this kind of format. So I think for the pro Machinedramon players, they probably are going to have a good time working this out and trying to build it into the workshop and see where it goes from there. Currently, those are all the decks that I think are just hurt, but still can come back and have at least a fighting chance in the Ultimate Cup. Now let's go ahead and talk about the decks that I think are going to do a lot better than what they used to do. And some of them are actually going to be new decks that we haven't talked about or haven't seen in the top meta as of right now. Up first, I actually thought about hybrids. I thought instantly red hybrid. I'm like, ooh, Ancient Greymon. Just being able to do what it does is really, really fun. If you can get 5 checks in on an ancient. If you can get 5 checks in with an ancient Greymon, that's going to be solid. That's going to be really fun to do. The downside is you can't go Omni, Blitz Omni for game anymore. And you're also going to have to go hybrid for game or something else on that matter, or just swing with another Digimon that you have on the field for that game piece. I think one deck that it will struggle with is going to be perhaps maybe Armor Rush or Ulforce. I think Ulforce, and that we'll go ahead and segue into Ulforce coming up next. Ulforce is going to be very strong. I think Ulforce was strong already, and it just was struggling against the current meta that was going on with Grandis being fast, with Black Ward just holding it down, and other decks, and Shoutmon just being a very fast deck as well. But those decks are not going to really be here as much. So that kind of gives Ulforce an opportunity to really make light for what that deck can actually do. It's very nasty. Blocker evade is great. And being able to play all those tamers, depending if you go Leo package or not, it's up to you and up to the creative style that you want to go with Ulforce. But I think Ulforce has a really good shot at probably taking it, if not making it into the top 8, top 4 perhaps. Ulforce looks fun. I'm excited for that deck to see what it can do. Going back into the hybrids though, Yellow Hybrid. I think Yellow Hybrid is going to be fun. You can splash that with some Venusmon. You can even go Ophanimon Fall Down in this category. And you can even go the Angelwomon X Antibody route. The Gatomons are there. There's a lot of yellow connections that you can make with this format. So going that mono yellow and splashing in that dual colors, I think yellow is going to be fun for this meta. I think yellow gets a strong chance here. Blue Hybrid was also brought up in our chat group. Blue Hybrid's got a chance. I mean, I know the Tommies are limited and that might hurt, but you know, Blue Hybrid was fast for what it was doing, and you know, maybe you'll see some people will give it a shot. Another deck that I thought would be really interesting was the Gabu Bond Leomon package. I saw that actually running in Nationals. I thought it was hilarious for what it was doing, but it was so damn good. And being able to use the blue, go blue-green, having your Davis Tamers, I think you're pretty good with those cards. And you can even splash in Davis Ken if you're going into the multicolor Leomons and Pangeamons, etc. So there's some ways to work around that deck. I think that deck will be really fun. Another deck also to mention is Mother D. Mother D Reaper is actually going to be probably given a fighting chance if you can get to the gatekeepers fast enough and just lock your opponent down to where they can't do anything and just finish them off that way. I think Mother D's got a really good shot. As long as you're not running in against Kryptonite deck, which is Black War, you should be fine in this format. Another deck is going to be that I think has a really, really good shot as well is BloomLordmon and Hydramon. BloomLord Hydra combo is amazing. It sticks to green mono already. And you can go this little splash route with blue-green if you wanted to go that route. But I think BloomLord Hydra has a really good shot just for what it does. Being able to spread board and just lock down in your opponent can be very good. It's a very fun deck to play. If you guys haven't played it already, I think BloomLord's going to have a fun time in Ultimate Cup. Next up is going to be Gallantmon. I think Gallantmon is going to make a comeback here, just being the mono color that it is. I think Gallantmon players are very dedicated. They're very passionate, and I think they're going to give it a shot. I think we're going to see more Gallantmon players than we're actually going to give credit here. And Gallantmon just being able to do what it does with Crimson mode and you know, the variety between the level 6 Gallantmons you want to choose from makes Gallantmon really, really fun here. So Gallantmon, watch out for that one. That one should be nasty. Speaking of decks that people are going to give chances with, I think Bagramon's going to get some opportunities here. Just being that purple-based deck, Bagramon might have some more power to it. Now that X-Antibody decks are kind of going to be on the low. I think Bagramon's got a good shot as well. Being able to do what it wants to do and just getting there fast. There's a lot of purple pieces, so it's not really affected all that much with this whole change. And I think Bagramon's got a good shot. A lot better than what it used to have, let's be fair. Alphamon. I think Alphamon is one of those decks that topped before BT11 came out and was very good for what it was doing. Even despite the WarGreymon limit, I think Alphamon is still a very fun deck. It's got a really high ceiling on that level 7 Oryukin, and it could just do nasty things. X Antibody is going to be affected. I should have put I should have put Alphamon in the decks that are going to be affected, but maybe you can make some ways without that X Antibody card. I know you can put Digimon cards underneath the sources, so we'll have to see what Alphamon wants to do. Darknightmon is one of those decks that I think people might be sleeping on, because the fact is that you can go black-purple with the level 6. You can go multicolors here. You got the new Muso Nightmon as a buff here, and I played that against opponent recently at locals, and I was really, really hyped for that. I was really, really hyped to see Darknightmon actually be given a shot, because what it can do is some scary stuff. Being able to digivolve your opponent and just delete play cost stuff was really effective against me. And I think now that Darknightmon being that mono color that it has, with the splash of a little multicolor of purple, I think Darknightmon can do a lot better than what it used to do before. Another deck is going to be Sukamon. I think one deck that's going to be very, very popular, and you'll see it in Ultimate Cup for sure, is going to be Sukamon, the little poop deck. Being able to just run the duo color. It depends if you're going to want to go black base or yellow base here. You're going to have to make that choice. I personally like the black base, but I can also understand if you go red base, because black base unlocks some really fun level 6s, but yellow base also unlocks some really fun level 6s in case you want to go that route. So I think it's going to make for an interesting but diverse Sukamon tournament. And you know, Sukamon's it's got some love in the community, and you can't argue against it. Sukamon is just a troll, and it's really effective. It can be dangerous. Another important deck to bring up, and it's my personal favorite, Blue Flare. If you guys know me, I love running Blue Flare. I ran that at Nationals pretty much all day, all weekend, and just really testing the waters out with Blue Flare. I definitely knew what adjustments I needed to make there, but the adjustments that I would like to make would be adding the Triple Tamer Kira X Cross card to my deck. I didn't really realize how helpful that was above Sora and Joe until I was in matches and was like, yeah, I could really use some of the Triple Tamer right now. Just getting that gain memory draw would have been very helpful and could have been game changer. That would have been the reason why I would have won or lost certain matches. So Blue Flare, despite those cards, just go back to the Sora and Joes and just take out that little red spice, and then you're cooking pretty much, because you got more spots. Blue Flare could definitely eat up those spots, and it's a really good deck for what it does. Blue Flare for sure is going to be probably a top dog. I'll probably give that like a top 8 placement for Blue Flare. And maybe I'm underselling it. Maybe you can even go further than that. Another deck is going to be Galacticmon. People are going to be giving Galacticmon an opportunity here because it's all black based, and it's really strong if your opponent doesn't know how to deal with it, and it can do some catching off guard kinds of things with that deck if you're not aware of it. So Galacticmon's going to have a spot here. Could do well, but I know it's going to do a lot better than what it would be in the current format that we had with Nationals. D-Brigade is another fun one. That little rookie rush mechanics right there can be very effective. It's got some bad matchups, like yellow. You probably don't want to go against yellow if you're doing D-Brigade, just because of all that recovery and stuff that you got going on. Can be really good and set D-Brigade back. But I think D-Brigade's going to have more of an opportunity right now to make some moves here. So shout out to my Commandramon players right there. And a couple more decks. Lastly, really quick, is Marsmon. Marsmon's got the opportunity here where it's like, all right, Mars, you can't get any easier than this for your deck at this moment with the current cards that you got. So Marsmon's got to show up. Marsmon's got to win this whole thing. If Marsmon don't win, then I'm not for this change. I'm not for the modified changes at all. Marsmon, you better win. I'm talking to you, Marsmon players. Take it home. And then lastly, Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon's got that multicolor splash, so you can go in multiple ways here. Depends where you want to go with Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon's going to be a very interesting deck if people choose to go Tyrannomon route. And we'll just see where it goes from there. I know purple wasn't mentioned all that much here other than Bagra because, you know, Beelstar got hit. Merva got hit hard, and those were like the top decks for what purple was at the moment. So you're gonna have to get creative, purple players. I think you can, though. I think one deck that I'm not even listed on this thing is gonna be something purple. Something purple will do well. Don't doubt purple players. Purple players are some of the most creative players of Digimon. I know they're going to come out with something very, very splashy, very, very interesting, and is just going to like surprise a lot of people. So something purple, you guys let me know what you think that is. Something purple is going to be in the comment section below. And that's going to go ahead and do it for me for this video. What do you all think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the new changes. Ultimately, like I said before, I was upset. Now I'm kind of over the being upset. I'm kind of at the calm stage now, and I think it could be really fun to watch. But let me know what you all think. I'm going to sign off and leave it to you guys after this. Let me know what you all think about the decks that I mentioned as well. Which decks you think could top here? Which decks do you think are going to struggle? Let me know your opinions on it as well, as that will pretty much help us get ready for the new tournament coming up. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.